It is a huge day in America, my friends. The EPA has just announced that they will be slashing regulations by the thousands. This includes the official preparation to end the so-called Endangerment Finding Act. This act allowed the EPA to begin regulating CO2 emissions, which is considered the holy grail of control for the climate change zealots here in the US. The endangerment finding is the tool that has been used to crush American industries and force upon everyone the massive restrictions on freedoms, and done so in the name of saving the environment. Now, if you want to know in great detail about everything that's involved with this ruling, I covered it in a previous episode at the end of last month, and I'll link to it in the description. But suffice it to say, this endangerment finding involved hundreds of new regulations designed to assist the command and control dreams of bureaucrats within the federal government, as well as the environmentalist wackos that have fueled this descent into regulation hell. Anyway, the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin formally announced 31 actions that will be taking place today, and he described it as the greatest day of deregulation in American history. Let's watch.
Today, I'm pleased to make the largest deregulatory announcement in U.S. history. The Environmental Protection Agency is initiating 31 historic actions to fulfill President Trump's promise to unleash American energy, revitalize our auto industry, restore the rule of law, and give power back to the states. EPA will be reconsidering many suffocating rules that restrict nearly every sector of our economy and cost Americans trillions of dollars. Our actions include the Biden administration's deeply flawed Clean Power Plan 2.0, mercury and air toxic standards, Quad O BC, particulate matter 2.5, light, medium, and heavy car and truck rules, NESHAPs, and the so-called social cost of carbon. To advance cooperative federalism.
The social cost of carbon. I mean, what the hell is that? Did you know that the EPA was regulating environmental justice? I'm not joking. This was something that they claimed was all about ensuring that no group, especially the low income and the racial minorities, would suffer disproportionately getting screwed over by pollution or environmental hazards, while also making sure that they had a say in decisions that affect their air, water, and land. This means that the EPA had been creating regulations on air pollution rules, water quality standards, hazardous waste sites, grants, programs, and permitting based on pollution burdens that were factoring in race and income. What are we even talking about here? These strange weirdos operating out of the EPA's confines have been ruling with the race glasses firmly glued to their stupid faces, meting out what they believe to be racial justice. This is not only wildly inappropriate for the government to decide to base regulations on whether or not the location is white or black enough, it's frankly wrong and stupid. It's just part and parcel for how absurd and ridiculous our federal agencies have really become. I don't even know how to react to this, honestly. Like, what are we talking about here?
EPA will partner with states that were universally rejected by the last administration's Good Neighbor rule. Among many other actions, today's momentous day also includes the 2009 endangerment finding, along with all actions that rely on it.
This is the big one.
I've been told the endangerment finding is considered the holy grail of the climate change religion. For me, the U.S. Constitution and the laws of this nation will be strictly interpreted and followed. No exceptions. Today, the Green New Scam ends as the EPA does its part to usher in the golden age of American success.
About time.
Our actions will lower the cost of living by making it more affordable to purchase a car, heat your home, and operate a business. Jobs will be created, especially in the U.S. auto industry, and our nation will become stronger for it. From the campaign trail to day one and beyond, President Trump has delivered on his promise to unleash energy dominance and lower the cost of living. We at EPA will do our part to power the great American comeback.
So, essentially what is happening here is this. there's going to be a massive reversal of Biden-era policies. You're going to see a lot of programs like the mandatory greenhouse gas reporting program say go away, go bye-bye. Vehicle emission standards, which is the driving force that has propped up electric vehicles here in the U.S. because prior to the government trying to force this, nobody really cared about it. And wastewater regulations for oil and coal and gas will be pulled back. And as you heard him mention, the Good Neighbor Plan, which expanded federal oversight of state emissions, is also getting the boot. This is all good stuff. And what this is going to mean for us here in America is by erasing restrictions on fossil fuels and critical minerals, the U.S. is going to see a massive increase in domestic production, particularly in states like Alaska and other coal-reliant regions. I would expect to see a lot of new investments flooding into the U.S. in the near future once these regulations are formally stripped out. And one of the other positives here is with less regulations means less cost, which means lower energy prices. This will not only mean more money in your pocket, but it's also going to stimulate manufacturing, which has also been under constant attack by these religious zealots at the EPA and elsewhere before now. This could indeed be, my friends, a huge red letter day here in America. We might be looking at the end of environmental tyranny here in the US, or at the very least, a deep stabbing wound against those who wish to destroy the economic engine of freedom that has been our energy sector. And in my book, any day that sees more government waste and regulations axed, that is a good day for me.